Hello students, in the previous class we discussed the concepts related to the rectangular hyperbola, which is related to the topic hyperbola. So what is rectangular hyperbola? A hyperbola whose length of the transverse axis is equal to the length of the conjugate axis. At that time we say that the hyperbola is called a rectangular hyperbola. So here 2a is equals to 2b, so a equal to b, the equation becomes what? X square by a square minus y square by a square is equals to 1. So we mean x square minus y square equal to a square. It is the equation of the rectangular hyperbola. Now its eccentricity is what? Root of a square plus a square by a square. We mean root 2. So for a rectangular hyperbola, the eccentricity is always constant. Now we rotate the axis of the coordinate axis, that is in the 45 degrees in the clockwise direction, or we may rotate in the anti-clockwise direction. The equation x square minus y square becomes xy is equals to c square. So c is the constant, therefore c square is also constant. Xy equal to c square is the standard equation of the rectangular hyperbola. What is the specialty of the rectangular hyperbola? Xy equal to c square. Xy is equals to 0 is the combined equation of the asymptotes of the rectangular hyperbola. That is x equal to 0, y equal to 0. We mean the coordinate axis are the axis of your asymptotes of your rectangular hyperbola xy equal to c square. Its axes are what? X minus y equal to 0 and x plus y equal to 0. So coordinate axes are asymptotes to that rectangular hyperbola. Angle between the asymptotes is always 90 degrees in your rectangular hyperbola. Asymptotes means the tangents at infinity to that curve hyperbola. Now the coordinate axes are itself the asymptotes to the curve xy is equal to c square, that is the speciality. And also we discussed the parametric equations of the rectangular hyperbola xy is equals to c square. What are they? X is equals to ct, y is equals to c by t. So any point on the rectangular hyperbola is ct comma c by t, where t belongs to r minus singleton 0. Now the tangent at that point also we discussed it. The slope of tangent is what? Minus 1 by t square, and from that we can write the equation of tangent by the formula y minus c by t is equal to minus 1 by t square times of x minus ct. In the same manner, we can do the equation of normal at that parametric point. Also, we can write the equation of tangent and normal at any general point x1 comma y1 on xy is equal to c square, and we can do some of the properties related to the rectangular hyperbola, which is of the form xy is equals to c square. So in this session, we discuss all these things. Let us begin the class. Yes, please listen carefully about the topic, that is rectangular hyperbola xy is equals to c square. So let us begin the class with the normal. The equation of normal at the point whose parameter t is y minus c by t is equal to t square times of x minus ct or something. It is very easy to you. Prove that one. So what is the equation? Xy is equals to c square. This is your rectangular hyperbola. You just differentiate with respect to x, you get xy dash plus y is equals to 0. So y dash is equals to minus y by x. So slope of normal is equals to what? Slope of normal is equals to x by y at that point, any point. Suppose your point is p, parametric point, that is ct comma c by t. So you can write ct by c by t. Then cc gets cancelled, this is t square. So don't forget the slope of normal at p of t to the hyperbola xy equal to c square is t square. So we have the point ct comma c by t. Then we can write the equation of the normal by y minus c by t is equals to slope t square into x minus ct. Now cross multiplying, you get yt minus c is equals to t cube x minus c t power 4. T cube into t power 4. Therefore, we have x t cube, x into t cube minus yt minus ct power 4 plus c is equals to 0. So t cube x minus ty plus c minus ct power 4 is equals to 0. which is the equation of normal at t. P of t to the hyperbola xy is equal to c square. P of t means p ct comma c by t. This is the equation of normal at p of t to the rectangular hyperbola. Okay. Now, with the help of this result, we can prove one more result. Suppose the normal at p of t to the hyperbola xy is equal to c square intersects the hyperbola again at t dash. Suppose this is the point P. We can draw the normal at that point. This is the tangent at P to the rectangular hyperbola. If you draw the normal, this is the normal at P. It intersects again the curve at Q of T dash. This is at T. Then T cube T dash is equals to minus 1. You have to prove that t cube t dash is equals to minus 1. How to prove that one? T cube t dash is equals to minus 1. Already we proved the equation of normal at t. So what is the slope of normal at t? T square. Y minus c by t is equal to t square into x minus what? ct. This is the equation of normal at t to the hyperbola. It is passing through t dash. That means what? C t dash comma c by t dash. Just to substitute the point here, instead of y by c by t dash and instead of x by c t dash, what we obtain? C by t dash minus c by t is equals to t square times of x means c t dash minus c t. You can cancel out c on both sides, my dears, immediately. So by taking LCM itself, t minus t dash by t dash t is equal to t square times of t dash minus t. This is very simple derivation for you. Please listen carefully. This is cancel out minus 1 times. So you have t cube t dash is equals to minus 1. This is the very important result for you. What is the result? Normal at any point p of t to the hyperbola xy is equals to c square intersect again on the curve at q of t dash, then t cube t dash is equals to minus 1. T cube t dash is equals to minus 1. That is the result. So from the equation of normal at a particular point, that is xt cube minus yt minus ct power 4 plus c equal to 0, we can derive the another concept, that is t cube t dash is equals to minus 1. Now, if it is passing through the any general point x1 comma y1, we obtain the fourth degree equation in T. Therefore, at most 4 normals can be drawn from given point to the hyperbola. So, what is the fourth degree equation here? Now, this is the fourth degree equation. This is your rectangular hyperbola xy is equals to c square. Now, if it is passing through any general point p x1 comma y1, what we obtain? x1 t cube minus y1 t minus ct power 4 plus c is equals to 0. Is equal to 0. Now, this can be written as ct power 4 minus x1 t cube plus y1 t, again what we have, minus c. Minus c is equals to 0. Okay, x1 t cube minus y1 t minus ct power 4, this is plus c equal to 0. We can take minus common, ct power 4 and minus x1 t cube, that is plus y1 t minus c equal to 0. What is the product of the roots? t1, t2, t3, t4 is equals to what? Minus c by c. That is equals to minus 1 we obtained here. So the equation of normal at any point p x1 y1, in generally 4 normals can be drawn through this point to the hyperbola. So these are the 4 feet of the normals. 4 feet of the normals. Their corresponding points are t1, t2, t3, t4 say. In that T1, T2, T3, T4, the product is what? Minus 1. T1, T2, T3, T4 is equals to minus 1 is obtained here. So what is the normal equation at that point? Y minus C by T equal to T square into X minus Ct. We have xt cube minus yt minus ct power 4 plus c is equals to 0. From that we can calculate the product of the roots T1, T2, T3, T4 as minus 1. Understand? From that we can squaring that also T1 square plus T1 square, T2 square, T3 square, T4 square is what? Plus 1. Okay. This is the another result for you. Now the equation of tangent at x1 comma y1 is xy1 plus x1y is equals to 2c square, where t is equal to xy1 plus x1y minus 2c square, that is t. In the same manner we have the equation of tangent at x1 y1 to the any curve s equal to 0 is what? S1 equal to 0. In the same manner we can write S1 is equal to 0. So xy is equal to c square is there. So this is the expression xy. For s is equals to xy minus c square, we can write S1 as, you just write half into 2xy minus c square. This is nothing but half into xy plus xy minus c square. This is nothing but half of xy1 plus yx1. This is s. Your expression, this is s, can be written in this manner. We can write s1 by in this manner. So half xy1 minus yx1 minus c square is equals to 0. S1 equal to 0 is the equation of tangent at x1 y1. So xy plus xy, replace 1x by x1 here, 1y by y1 here, xy1 plus yx1. This is S1 is equals to 0, but x1 y1 also, x1 y1 lies on the hyperbola, x1 y1 is nothing but c square. So half of xy1 plus yx1 is equal to c square, we mean x1 y1. Implies you may write x by x1 plus y by y1 is equals to 2. This is the equation of tangent at x1 comma y1 to the rectangular hyperbola xy is equals to c square. So this is your hyperbola, rectangular hyperbola whose asymptotes are coordinate axis. If you take any point here, if you draw the tangent at that point to the curve, then its equation is what? X by x1 plus y by y1 equal to 2. Dear students, all of you know about this equation whose intercepts are 2x1 comma 2y1 with coordinate axis. By taking the points as 2x1 comma 0 and 0 comma 2y1, what happened? Its midpoint is x1 comma y1. So the point of contact of tangents itself, the midpoint of portion of tangent intersected by the coordinate axis. Okay, so x by x1 plus y by y1 equal to 2 is the equation of tangent at x1 y1 to the curve xy is equal to c square. So the interesting and important point is the point of contact is itself the midpoint of portion of this tangent. So this is happening only for this curve xy equal to c square. Understand? Next, the equation of normal at x1 comma y1 to the curve xy equal to c square is this one. X1 minus y1 is equal to x1 square minus y1 square. So what is S1 is equal to 0? Tangent equation. Tangent equation is what? X by x1 plus y by y1 is equals to 2. Just to be proved, the equation of tangent at x1 comma y1 to the rectangular hyperbola xy is equals to c square is this one. So what is the slope for this one? Minus 1 by x1 by what? 1 by y1. This is nothing but minus y1 by x1. This is the slope of tangent. So what about my slope of normal at that point? Slope of normal is equal to x1 by y1. You have the point x1 y1 and you have the slope. Can you write the equation or not? Yes. Y minus y1 is equals to x1 by y1 into x minus x1. This is the equation of normal at x1 comma y1. So yy1 minus y1 square is equal to xx1 minus x1 square. Implies this can be written as xx1 minus yy1 is equal to x1 square minus y1 square. So this is the equation of normal at x1 comma y1 to the hyperbola xy is equal to c square. So we proved the equations of the tangent at parametric points and normal at the parametric point, tangent at general point x1 y1, normal at the general point x1 y1 to the same hyperbola whose equation is xy is equals to c square. Okay. Now the chord with given midpoint h comma k is kx plus hy is equals to 2hk. This is the equation of chord with midpoint h comma k to the hyperbola xy is equal to c square. So these are all properties for xy equal to c square we are looking. Chord with midpoint is h comma k, then that equation is kh plus hy is equals to 2hk. Now this is your rectangular hyperbola. Now these are the 2 points p comma q on the hyperbola. If you join these 2 points, we obtain chord. This is the chord. Its midpoint is given to you. What is that? H comma k. Its equation is kh plus hy is equals to 2hk. We have to prove that one. How to prove this one? Now you know that the equation of chord with midpoint is S1 is equals to S11. What is your S? S is nothing but xy minus c square. This is S. For that you have to write S1 is equals to S11. How to write that one? S1 is nothing but half of xy1. Instead of h comma k, I am writing as x1 y1 and finally we can write h comma k. Or you may write itself, no problem. xy1 plus yx1 minus c square is equals to what? S11 means you just substitute the point. x1 y1 minus c square gets cancelled. So when you take the 2 to the right side, xy1 plus yx1 is equals to 2x1 y1. So this is the equation of chord with midpoint x1 comma y1 to the rectangular hyperbola. But they are given instead of x1 y1 by h comma k, just replace x1 y by h comma k. Now xk plus yh is equal to 2hk. Is it correct or not? Kh plus kh, kx, that is kx plus hy is equals to 2hk. This is the equation of chord with midpoint x1 comma y1 to the rectangular hyperbola. With the help of S1 is equal to S11, we can write the equation of chord joining of the 2 points also. That is also very, very important. At one time they are asking what is the equation of chord joining of the 2 points x1 y1 and x2 y2 on xy is equal to c square. So we can write that one also now. Equation of chord joining of, with the help of the S1 is equal to S11, we are going to derive this one. Equation of chord joining of x1 comma y1, x2 comma y2 on rectangular hyperbola xy equal to c square is, my dears, this is the thing, x by x1 plus x2 plus y by y1 plus y2 is equal to 1. Let us try to derive this one. X by x1 plus x2 plus y by y1 plus y2 is equals to 1. How to derive this one? This is your rectangular hyperbola. Okay. Now, these are the 2 points given to you. Their extremities are x1 comma y1, x2 comma y2. We are going to find out the equation of chord as in this manner. Now, there is no importance. Once if you have the 2 points, you can write their equation. But your intention is you have to make in this manner. That is x by x1 plus x2 plus y by y1 plus y2 is equals to 1. That is the important thing here. Now let us take M is the midpoint of the chord AB whose coordinates are a comma b of your rectangular hyperbola xy is equals to c square. Suppose the coordinates of M are say x3 comma y3. Suppose the coordinates of M are what? x3 comma y3. With the help of this concept, we can write the equation of chord with midpoint as S1 is equals to S11. So what is the equation chord with midpoint? We are taking x3 by 3. So x3. So k is what here? y3. So y3x plus x3y is equals to 2x3y3. By using this concept, we write the equation of chord. You may take h comma k as the midpoint. You can directly take the equation itself. But by dividing the x3 by 3, what we obtain? X by x3 plus y by y3 is equals to 2. Now x3 is nothing but x3 is nothing but x2 plus x1 by 2. Similarly, y3 is nothing but y1 plus y2 by 2. Am I correct or not? Because the midpoint concept itself we obtain this one. Just to substitute x3, y3 values, we obtain the required result. X by x1 plus x2 by 2. It is coming to the numerator plus y by y1 plus y2 by 2. That coming to the numerator is equals to 2. So cancel out 2 on both sides, you get 1 here. So the final answer is what? X by x1 plus x2 plus y by y1 plus y2 is equals to 1. This is the way to find the equation of chord line joining of these points x1 y1 comma x2 y2. This is the chord obtained by joining of the 2 points on the rectangular hyperbola xy is equals to c square. The points are x1 y1 and x2 y2. So this is very important result for you. What is that? X by x1 plus x2 plus y by y1 plus y2 is equals to 1. So this is the derivation. We are using the concept whose chord with midpoint equation is S1 is equals to S11. S1 is equals to S11. In writing the S1 for xy, don't remember, the only thing is you have to write half of 2xy and half of xy plus xy. You just write y1 here, x1 here. That becomes what? This is expression for S1 relation to S is equal to xy. So this is the one and only thing we are observed in this derivation. Okay. Next one. Pn is perpendicular from a point on the rectangular hyperbola xy is equal to c square to its asymptotes. Then find the locus of midpoint of Pn. Then find the locus of midpoint of Pn. Pn is the perpendicular. From where to where? Point on the rectangular hyperbola xy equal to c square to its asymptotes. Then find the locus of midpoint of Pn. So it is a very simple question to you. Just I am going to draw the rough diagram for you. This is a rectangular hyperbola xy is equal to c square. So what are the asymptotes for this xy is equal to c square? So many times we discussed the asymptotes of the rectangular hyperbola xy equal to c square are the coordinate axis. So these are the axis, coordinate axis. These are the asymptotes for xy equal to c square. Asymptotes are nothing but the tangents at infinity to the curve. Already we defined the asymptotes in two ways. One is for non-vertical lines and other one for vertical lines. Understand? So if you take any point P on the hyperbola xy is equal to c square, what they are asking, Pn is drawn perpendicular to the point P to the rectangular hyperbola to its asymptotes. This is asymptote, draw the perpendicular. What is that? Pn. You have to find out the locus of midpoint of Pn. That is you are going to find out. Suppose Now my point P is x1 comma y1 say. This is x1 comma y1 on the rectangular hyperbola. This is the point on the locus h comma k. Am I correct? Now P is x1 comma y1. Immediately what are the coordinates of n x1 comma 0? Am I correct? Now your x1 y1 is the point P, n is x1 comma 0, q is its midpoint. So q is equals to what? H comma k, that is equals to x1 plus x1 by 2 comma y1 plus 0 by 2. You can directly write x1 because on ordinate x coordinate is same. So h is equal to x1 itself you can write. So this is x1 comma y1 by 2. This is h comma k. So what about x1 here? From the equation itself, x1 is equal to h and y1 is equal to 2k. So 2 points are equal, their corresponding coordinates are equal. x1 is this much h, y1 is equals to 2k. Also x1 y1 lies on. Also x1 comma y1 lies on what? Your hyperbola xy equal to c square implies x1 into y1 equal to c square. You just substitute the values of x1 and y1 here itself. We obtain the condition on h comma k. You can write the locus for h comma k. So what is your x1? H. What is your y1? 2k is equals to c square implies 2hk is equal to c square. Therefore locus of h comma k is what? Locus of h comma k is 2xy is equals to c square. This is another rectangular hyperbola. So your constant is here, instead of c by c square by 2 we obtained here. So this is the locus of the midpoint of Pn, where P is any moving point on the hyperbola, N is its corresponding foot of perpendicular drawn from P to the asymptote. We mean the axis, that is the coordinate axis. Okay. So the locus is what? The another locus is your rectangular hyperbola, that is 2xy is equal to c square. So it is a very simple question. So just the understanding the thing is here, the asymptotes of xy equal to c square are coordinate axis. Once if you get the third, you can easily crack this one. Okay, there is nothing here. Next one. This is also an important result for you. See this one. PQ and RS. This is PQ. This is RS. Are two perpendicular chords of rectangular hyperbola xy is equals to c square. PQ and RS are the two perpendicular chords of the rectangular hyperbola xy is equal to c square. If c is the center of the rectangular hyperbola, then find the value of the product of the slopes of CP, CQ, CR and CS. Product of the perpendiculars, product of the slopes of, then find the value of the product of the slopes of CP, CQ, CR and CS. So it is also a simple result for you. You just understand the question. This is your rectangular hyperbola xy equal to c square whose asymptotes are the coordinate axis. You have to take two chords PQ and RS. They are perpendicular to each other. Just let us draw the rough diagram. This is one of the chord and we draw one more perpendicular chord to this one. So this is another chord. These 2 points of intersections are different, may coincident also. So we are taking PQ is one of the chord and RS is the another chord, PQ RS. Now angle between these two chords is given that 90 degrees. Suppose the coordinates of PR T1, this is Q T2, this is R T3, this is S T4. We mean P is equals to CT1 comma C by T1, Q is equal to CT2 comma C by T2, R is equals to CT3 comma C by T3, S is equals to CT4 comma C by T4. These are the 4 points. Understand? what is slope of PQ? Already we proved slope of PQ is equals to minus 1 by T1 T2. I think we can do one more time. C by T2 minus C by T1 whole divided by CT2 minus CT1. C gets cancelled. T1 minus T2 by T1 T2 by T2 minus T1. We get minus 1 times here, minus 1 by T1 T2. This is slope of PQ. Now slope of RS, similarly slope of RS is what, my dears? Minus 1 by T3 T4. Just do in the same manner. Given that the two lines are perpendicular, therefore their product of their slopes is equals to minus 1. Implies minus 1 by T1 T2 into minus 1 by T3 T4 equal to minus 1. So minus minus gets cancelled here. Implies from that we calculate T1, T2, T3, T4 value as minus 1. This is the result. T1, T2, T3, T4 is equals to minus 1. Let it be some star. What they are asking? Then find the value of the product of slopes of CP, CQ, CR, CS. What is C? Center of the hyperbola is 0, 0. Now what is CP? This is CP. This is CR. This is CS. This is CQ. So product of the slopes of CP, CQ, CR, CS. What is the slope of CP? That is nothing but slope of CP, C by T1 minus 0 by CT1. CC gets cancelled. We have 1 by T1 square. So product of the slopes M1, M2, M3, M4 equal to 1 by T1 square into 1 by T2 square into 1 by T3 square into 1 by T4 square. So M1, M2, M3, M4 is what? 1 by T1 square, T2 square, T3 square, T4 square. So we have 1 by minus 1 whole square. This is 1 by 1, 1. So it is a very simple derivation to you. Just you find the slope of CP, CQ, CR, CS. We obtained as 1 by Ti square, I runs from 1, 2, 3, 4. And moreover, we proved that T1, T2, T3, T4 is equals to minus 1, since by taking the product of slopes is minus 1, because they are given that PQ and RS are perpendicular to each other. So we have the result, that is M1, M2, M3, M4 is equals to 1. So it is a simple derivation. Just by understanding the question itself you can crack easily. Okay. Next we move for the next question. Concyclic points on the hyperbola. Next concept. This is the point. Very important concept. Concyclic points on the hyperbola xy is equals to c square. It means what? Concyclic points means what? The points which lies on a circle called concyclic. On hyperbola means what? If a circle intersects your rectangular hyperbola, xy is equals to c square. Okay, you get 4 points of intersections by the nature of the curves itself. At most 4 points of intersections will be there. Then at that time those points are called concyclic points. The center of the circle maybe coincides with the center of the rectangular hyperbola or may not. Understand? So by depending upon the situation, let us do the general method for the concyclic points on the hyperbola and let us see the properties also. Okay. Now consider one rectangular hyperbola, that is xy equal to c square. This is your rectangular hyperbola. We are looking for the concyclic points on what? This rectangular hyperbola. So let us try to draw one circle which intersects the hyperbola at 4 points. Suppose this is my circle. Some circle may intersect the one of the branch itself, just we get the 2 points of intersections. So at most 4 points of intersections we obtain here. So these are the points which are concyclic on the rectangular hyperbola xy is equals to c square. So consider the circle equation as x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. That means the points on the rectangular hyperbola also lies on the circle side. Now we know that any point on my xy is equal to c square is of the form ct comma c by t. You just substitute here now. Now we obtain x square, that is c square t square, plus y square means c square by t square, plus 2gct plus 2f times of c by t plus some d say, don't confuse, this is the parameter which is used in xy equal to c square. Don't take the same constant here itself, you may take d also. So this is d is equals to 0. What is this? This is the fourth degree equation in T. So at most we obtain 4 points of intersection. That is why I am saying from the beginning we may have exactly or at most 4 points of intersections with the circle to your rectangular hyperbola xy is equals to c square. So just by cross multiplying t not equal to 0, c square t power 4 plus c square plus 2gct cube plus 2fct plus d times of t square is equals to 0. Okay. Now implies c square t power 4 plus 2gct cube plus you have dt square plus 2fct plus c square is equals to 0. So this is fourth degree equation in T. We have 4 roots, say Ti, I runs from 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the points of intersections of the circle with your rectangular hyperbola xy is equals to c square. So the point is of the form what? Ti comma cti comma c by ti. Cti comma c by ti. Now you can write the product of the roots also, sum of the roots, whatever it may be. So you take the sum of the roots, what happened? T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4 is equals to what? This is the minus 2gc by c square. Minus 2gc by c square. This is nothing but cc gets cancelled, minus 2g by c we have. Now T1, T2, T3, T4. This is the thing here. You can write, you can multiply with c on both sides. You can write, you get ct1 plus ct2 plus ct3 plus ct4 is equals to minus 2g. This is minus 2g. We are doing the properties related to that concyclic points and that, my dears. So what is the product here? What is the summation here? T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4. We get CT1 plus CT2 plus CT3 plus CT4 is minus 2g. By taking its arithmetic mean, what happened? That is my interesting thing here. CT1 plus CT2 plus CT3 plus CT4 is equals to, we have minus 2g by 4. That means minus g by 2. That means you have minus g by 2. What is minus this is minus g by 2g by 4. This is minus g by 2. Okay, correct. Similarly, we can find c by t1, c by t2, c by t3 plus c by t4 also. From that we have ct1 plus ct2 plus ct3 plus ct4 is equals to, by 4 is equals to, by 4 is equals to minus 2g by 4, we have minus g by 2. Similarly, you can find the value of c by t1 plus c by t2 plus c by t3 plus c by t4. This is the value. What is its value? You can take common c, and we are going to prove a very, very important result. Wait and see. C times of 1 by t1 plus 1 by t2 plus 1 by t3 plus 1 by t4, that is equals to c times of product of the roots taken at 3 at a time. taken 3 at a time, that is T2, T3, T4 plus T1, that is sigma T1, T2, T3 we obtain in the numerator by product of the roots obtained here. T1, T2, T3, T4 is here. That is C times of product of the roots taken 3 at a time for this cubic equation is what? This is for S1, S2, S3. So minus 2 of C by minus 2 of C by C square we have. So C square CC gets cancelled. This is minus 2F, my dears. So this is the ordinate of the 4 points, sum of the 4 points of the intersections with the circle to your rectangular hyperbola. What is its mean here? Now its mean means by 4 you have to take. C by 4 times of 1 by T1 plus 1 by T2 plus 1 by T3 plus 1 by T4 is equals to what? Minus F by 2. Minus F by 2. So club these two concepts, what we obtained. So the mean of the 4 points of intersections with your rectangular hyperbola to the circle is equals to the midpoint of the centers joining of the rectangular hyperbola and your circle. This is the center of the rectangular hyperbola. This is 0, 0. This may be the center of the circle, that is minus G comma minus F. What is its midpoint here? The midpoint is minus G by 2 comma minus F by 2. So we have the very, very important result. The arithmetic mean of the abscissas of the 4 points of intersections gives the abscissa of the midpoints of the centers of the circle and rectangular hyperbola. Similarly, ordinates arithmetic mean. This is the ordinates arithmetic mean is also equal to the arithmetic mean of the centers of the y coordinates, midpoint of the y coordinates of these two curves, that is C 0, 0 and minus G comma minus F. So this is very, very important result for you. You have the 4 points of intersections. You have the 4 points of intersections. So we take the arithmetic mean of these 4 points coordinates is equal to the midpoint of centers of the rectangular hyperbola as well as your circle. So what is midpoint of C dash? That is minus G by 2 comma minus F by 2. That is equal to what? Mean proportion of the 4 points of intersection of what? The circle and the rectangular hyperbola. So this is very, very, very important notation for you. So product of the roots is used here. What is the product of the roots here from the equation itself? C square by C square, that is equals to what? 1. Product of the roots T1, T2, T3, T4 is equals to 1. So on simplification, this is the value for T1, T2, T3, T4, that is equals to 1. No need to write that one. Something by 1 means the same thing value. So this is 2F. So we can write S1, S2, S3, S4 for this 4th degree equation. So what is S1 here? That is minus 2G by C. And you can write S2 also, S3 also, S4 also. S4, from that S4, what is the T1, T2, T3, T4? That is 1. C square by C square itself 1 we have. Right? So these are all properties related to the concyclic points of the hyperbola. Xy is equal to C square with some any circle. S is equal to 0. X square plus Y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus C or D plus D is equal to 0. If you coincides both the centers, it is very easy for you do all these things. But we are doing the general method to awareness of the points of intersections with the circle with xy is equals to C square. So one thing you have to remember, my dears, the arithmetic mean, that is the mean proportion of the 4 points is equal to the midpoint of the line joining of the centers of the hyperbola and circle. This is one important aspect, and T1, T2, T3, T4 is also 1 from this aspect, and sum of the roots T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4 is equals to minus 2G by C is the another concept. Okay. So T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4 may not 0. Remember, it is 0 when both the centers are coincident. When G coincident with 0, 0, G comma F coincident with 0, 0, we get 0. So, some of the students may accept that T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4 is equal to 0. May or may not 0, my dears. But product of the roots always 1. Clearly, we proved. So, by taking the product of the roots itself, C square by C square we obtain, its value is 1. Understand? So, these are the clear properties related to the concyclic points about the rectangular hyperbola xy equal to C square. So, learn about these things. Next one. So, we derived the things, already we derived. Let a circle and a rectangular hyperbola xy equal to C square meet at 4 points T1, T2, T3, T4. Then the first thing is T1, T2, T3, T4 is 1. We proved. Already we proved. So, these are the summary points, what we discussed now. And again, we proved that the center of the mean position of the 4 points bisected the distance between the centers of the two curves. Same thing we discussed. So, arithmetic mean of the x coordinates of the points of intersections and find the y coordinates of the mean of the y coordinates of the points of intersections of the curves. You take that one, their mean proportion is equal to the midpoint of the centers of the two curves. Already we proved. These are the two very important things what we have to remember. Now, let us do some of the problems related to the two major concepts. One is asymptotes of hyperbola and other one is rectangular hyperbola. These two are very important concepts which are not belonging to the ellipse concept. So, these are the two special concepts which are only related for the hyperbola chapter. So, rectangular hyperbola means the hyperbola whose lengths of the transverse and conjugate axis are equal. That is the thing for the rectangular hyperbola. Asymptotes are nothing but the tangents at infinity to the hyperbola. We mean, suppose a line y is equal to mx plus c is an asymptote to the hyperbola or any curve y is equal to f of x if limit extends to infinity, the difference tends to 0. The difference tends to 0. That means f of x minus of mx plus c tends to 0 as extends to infinity. Your line y equal to mx plus c is not a vertical line. If it is vertical, that is of the form x is equal to k, then as limit k extends to k, your f of x tends to what? Tends to infinity. As x tends to k, your f of x tends to infinity. At that time, we say that x equal to k is the asymptote to the curve xy is equals to c square. So, with the help of these definitions of the rectangular hyperbola and their properties and the definition of the asymptotes and their properties of the asymptotes, let us try to do some of the problems related to these two concepts. Okay, be careful my dears. S equal to 0 is the equation of the hyperbola x square plus 4xy plus 3y square minus 4x plus 2y plus 1 equal to 0. Then the value of k for which s plus k represents its asymptotes. Asymptotes we mean combine the equation of the asymptotes. So what is s? This is the equation of the hyperbola. S plus k equal to 0 is what? It is the combined equation of the asymptotes of the hyperbola. You have to find out the value of k, that is your target. So s equal to 0 is the equation of hyperbola, then you have to find out the value of k for which s plus k is your combined equation of the asymptotes. So all of you clear about this one? We know that the combined equation of asymptotes of hyperbola and the equation of hyperbola are only differ by constant. So we can take the equation of asymptotes, the combined equation as x square plus 4xy plus 3y square minus 4x plus 2y plus 1 plus some lambda is equal to 0. Combined equation of the asymptotes of hyperbola and the equation of hyperbola are differ by constant. Up to this is the equation of hyperbola. You just add plus lambda to that one. We get Combine the equation of the asymptotes. Your target becomes what? You have to evaluate the value of lambda. Understand? How to evaluate the value of lambda? It represents a pair of lines. Am I correct or not? Combine the equation of asymptotes is nothing but pair of lines. When it represents pair of line, delta equal to 0. Delta we mean ABC plus 2FGH minus AF square minus BC square minus CH square equal to 0. So you substitute the value of AFGH and so on. In that expression, we get the value of lambda. It takes some time. So I am going to use the another technique. You just find the center of the hyperbola, and substitute the center in the asymptote, because every asymptote must and should be passing through the center of the hyperbola. Now the question becomes how to get the center. You just partial differentiate with respect to x and partial differentiate with respect to y. We get two expressions, equate them to 0 and solve them. We get the center. Remember that those are not transverse and conjugate axes. They are not transverse and conjugate axes. We obtain by taking the partial derivative itself, we get two expressions. You just make them as 0 and solve them. You get the center. So you use that purpose only. Okay. So what is the partial derivative for that curve? This is the curve 2x plus 4y. 2x plus 4y minus 4 is equals to 0. By doing the partial derivative with respect to x square 2x, y is constant, so 4y into 1 plus that is 0 minus 4. So you may cancel out 2 on both sides. So we have x plus 2y minus 2 equal to 0. X plus 2y minus 2 equal to 0. This is partial derivative with respect to x. Again we do the partial derivative with respect to y. What happened? 4xy. The partial derivative is 4x plus 6y. Again you have plus 2 is equals to 0. You may remove 2 also here. 2x plus 3y plus 1 equal to 0. No need to take 2 outside. You use this one itself to solve these two equations. By solving these two equations, we get center. You just substitute the center there. You get the lambda. Replace lambda that equation in that asymptote equation. We obtain the required combined equation of the asymptotes. Or just they are asking k value. S plus k is also just they are given. No need to take lambda. You may write plus k itself. Okay. Now this is the equation. This is the another equation. You write here 2x plus 4y minus 4 is equal to 0. These are the two equations. Subtract one from other. X will be cancelled. This is minus y plus 5 equal to 0. We have y is equals to 5. So substitute y equal to 5 in any of these equations. We get x also. Now 2x plus 3 5s are 15 plus 1 equal to 0. 2x is equals to what? 2x equals to minus 16. So x is equals to minus 8. So the center of the hyperbola is what? Minus 8 comma 5. This is minus 8 comma 5 is the center of your hyperbola. You just substitute here itself. We obtain the value of k. Okay. So I am going to erase this one. Right. Now we substitute the center because the asymptotes are always passing through center. This is 64 plus 28 160. This is minus 160. 4 into 5 20. 2 8s are 16. That is minus 160 plus 25. 5 5s are 25. 3 is 75. Minus of minus plus 4 8s 32. Plus 2 5s are 10 plus 1 plus k is equals to 0. So 75, 85, 86, 86 plus 32, this is 8, 8 plus 1 18, and again you have to add 75 also. 13 8 9 193 is there. We have the summation like that. This is you have to add 11, that is 43 plus 75, this is 8, and 118 plus 64 you have to take 12, 7 8 182 is there. So 182 minus 160, you have 22. The value of k value is 22 obtained. So in this manner we can find the value of k. So you just substitute the center minus 8 comma 5 itself, we obtain the constant value. From that you can easily write the value of k. So only the concept behind the problem is here. The combined equation of asymptotes of hyperbola and the equation of hyperbola are only differ by constant itself. Okay. So this is 22 plus k is equals to 0. So the value of k is equals to minus 22. So substitute entire value here itself. We obtain that is 22 plus k equal to 0. K equal to minus 22. Understand? Next one. Two distinct tangents can be drawn from the point alpha comma 2 on the different branches of the hyperbola. X square by 9 minus y square by 16 is equal to 1. Then the condition is what? So it is also a very interesting concept involved in this problem. Two distinct tangents can be drawn from the point alpha comma 2 to the different branches to the rectangular hyperbola. X square by 9 minus y square by 16 is equals to 1. So this is not a rectangular hyperbola, this is general hyperbola. It has asymptotes. Asymptotes are always passing through center of the hyperbola. Why we are discussing about asymptotes here? Yes, there is a importance in the asymptotes here itself. Now alpha comma 2 is the point which is in the region or in the region. We can draw the two tangents to the same branch. That is the thing I am explaining here. What is the thing here? These are the asymptotes. This is the situation. If your point is here or here, that means in this region you can draw two tangents from that point to the same branch. Suppose your point is outside the region, that is here or here itself, you can draw the tangents through this point to the two different branches. That means your point is alpha comma 2 may be here or here itself. At that time we can draw the tangents through this point to the two different branches. This is the one tangent, this is the another tangent to this curve. This is alpha comma 2. We mean we have to write the condition that alpha comma 2 is the point in this plane. Two different tangents are drawn to the two different branches. That means your point is located here. Here we mean that is at alpha comma 2. Okay. For that what you have to do? X square by 9 plus y square by 16 is equals to 1. This is the equation. X square by 9 minus y square by 16 equal to 1. Can you write the equations of the asymptotes or not? The equations of asymptotes are y equal to plus or minus b by a into x. Y is equal to plus or minus, what is b? 4. What is a? 3. 4 by 3x. So y is equal to 4 by 3x is one thing, and y is equals to minus 4 by 3x is the another asymptote. This is y is equals to what? Y is equals to b by a, 4 by 3x. This is y equals to 4 by 3x is there. Now you can write the focus. Here also this is another focus. Now my dear students, the focus and your alpha comma 2 must and should be opposite side to your asymptote. Must and should be opposite to your asymptote, because this is the point alpha comma 2 which must and should be in this region. Then only we can draw the two different tangents to the two different branches. What is focus AE? AE is nothing but root of a square plus b square, that is 9 plus 16, we mean 5. This is 5 comma 0, this is minus 5 comma 0. So substitute the point 5 comma 0 here itself, what we obtain? So 4x minus, you take this one as y minus 4 by 3x, y minus 4 by 3x. You just substitute 5 comma 0 itself, what we obtain? 0 minus 4 by 3 times of 5, this is less than 0. This is less than 0. When you substitute the point in this line, we obtain negative. That means when you substitute the point in the curve itself, we obtain positive, because these two are on the opposite side. So what we obtain? Alpha comma 2, when you substitute this alpha comma 2 in that line, y minus 4 by 3x, we have greater than 0. So what is your equation? Y minus 4 by 3x. You substitute the point alpha comma 2. What we obtain? 2 minus 4 by 3 times of alpha. That is greater than 0. What is y value? 2. So 2 greater than 4 by 3 times of alpha. So 4 by 3 times of alpha less than 2 implies you can cancel out 2 times alpha less than 3 by 2. You have alpha less than 3 by 2. Am I correct or not? So 4 by 3 times of alpha, 4 by 3 times of alpha less than 2. So 2 times cancel out, alpha less than 3 by 2. Similarly, minus 3 by 2 less than alpha, we obtain for this, substitute the point alpha comma 2 in the another asymptote. We get minus 3 by 2 less than alpha also, another condition. From these two conditions, we conclude that mod alpha less than 3 by 2. So this is very, very important aspect when you are considering the asymptotes concept. So your point is in this region, we can draw the two tangents from that point to the one branch of the hyperbola itself. If your point is in this region, so that is either this region or this region, we can draw the tangents from that point to the two branches separately. So these are the two separate branches. We can draw the two tangents to the two branches when your point is in this position. So by depending upon the nature of the asymptotes itself, we can track this one. Understand? So these 2 points are same side, the result will be same side. If 2 points are opposite side, their results will be opposite side when you substitute the point on that line itself. Understand? So what is the range finally here? Mod alpha less than 3 by 2. Okay. Next one, see this, a hyperbola passing through the point 2 comma 3 and has asymptotes 3x minus 4y plus 5 equal to 0 and 12x plus 5y minus 40 equal to 0. Then the equation of its transverse axis is what? We have to find out the equation of transverse axis of the hyperbola when that hyperbola passing through 2 comma 3 and their asymptotes are also given to you. See the question, how to use these asymptotes in this problem. So very interesting here also. Let us try to draw the rough diagram to this one. Suppose your hyperbola is in this manner. Just this is a rough diagram to you. And its asymptotes may be in this manner. Your hyperbola passing through 2 comma 3. This is my point 2 comma 3 which is on the hyperbola. These are the asymptotes. A1 and A2 are the asymptotes. Its equations are also given to you. What you have to find out? You have to find out the equation of the transverse axis. This is the transverse axis. This is the transverse axis you are going to find out here. How to find the transverse axis? That is the question. Now my dears, we know that the axis of the hyperbola are nothing but the angular bisectors of your asymptotes. Am I correct or not? These are the asymptotes. Clearly the axis of the hyperbola are the angular bisectors. So your question becomes, you have to find out the angular bisectors. Now another question arises here. What is that? This angular bisector, whether it is acute angular bisector or obtuse angular bisector or whatever it may be, in two bisectors, which one is your transverse axis? You have the two angular bisectors. Out of those two, which one is your transverse axis? That is your question. We mean the bisector will always contain the point 2, 3. That is the thing you have to observe in this problem. What is the thing here? This is one of the bisector. This is the another bisector. You have to find out the angular bisector to these two asymptotes, that bisector which is contain the point 2, 3. That is the important thing here. So the question transferred to, you have to find out the angular bisector of these two lines that contains the point 2, 3. That contains the point 2, 3. Now how to find that one? First of all, we can write the angular bisectors. All of you know the formula very well. 3x minus 4y plus 5 by root of 9 plus 16 is equal to plus or minus 12x plus 5y minus 40 by root of 144 plus 5 5s are 25. That is 3x minus 4y plus 5 by 5 plus or minus 12x plus 5y minus 40 by 13. So these are two bisectors, two angular bisectors. We have to find out the angular bisector which contain the point 2, 3. All of you know that finding the angular bisectors which contains origin. How to write the equations of angular bisectors which contains origin? Make both the equations having same sign, that is positive constant, and write ax1 plus by1 plus c by a square root of a square plus b square is equal to plus a2x plus b2y plus c2 by root of a square plus b square by making c1 and c2 positive. That is the equation of angular bisector contains the origin. So now we will compare with 2, 3 to the origin. So my question becomes what? My origin 0, 0 and 2, 3, whether these two are on the same side of the lines or opposite side of the lines. So our origin is here. Our origin is in this region. We can write the angular bisector contain the origin. Suppose your origin is either here or here, we can write the equation of the angular bisector which does not contain the origin. That is the thing you have to remember. Okay. Now how to proceed that one? Now this is A1 asymptote 1. Consider origin and the point 2, 3. Listen very carefully. Just to distinguish whether we have to find out the angular bisector which contain the origin or not contain the origin. So we are compared with origin to the 2, 3. So where is the position of 2, 3 and 0, 0 with respect to these two lines? Just we are going to do that one. When you substitute origin in A1, that is the first asymptote, we have 5. That is positive. Substitute 2, 3. What happened? 2 3s are 6 plus 3 4s are 12. That is minus 12. And we have plus 5. This is 11 minus 12. That is minus 1. So with respect to A1, these two are opposite signs. So suppose your A1 is like that. This is the origin and this is 2, 3. Both are opposite side. Remember very carefully, my dears. When you are substituting both the points on the line, you have two different sides. So both the points are opposite to the line. Again coming to the A2. When you are substitute origin there, what happened? Minus 40. That is negative. Just substitute 2, 3 also. 12 2s are 24. Next 3 5s are 15. Again you have minus 40. That means this is 39 minus 40 minus 1. We mean both have same sign, that is negative. So both the points are same side of A2. So your A2 may be in this manner. This is another asymptote A2. Now this is A1, this is A2. Now observe, my dear students, what about the positions of the origin and 2, 3? This is the region which contains the point 2, 3. This is the region which contains the point origin. So my conclusion is origin and 2, 3 are the opposite regions. These are in the opposite regions. That means origin is not in the region of the point 2, 3. The origin is not in the region of the point 2, 3. So your 2, 3 is not in the region of origin. We mean we have to find out the transverse axis, that is the angular bisector which does not contain origin. Angular bisector which does not contain the origin. That is the interesting point which is achieved from the experiment done by this experiment. Understand? So you have to find out the angular bisector of these two lines just that does not contain the origin. So with the 10 minutes experiment, what we achieved now here, the angular bisector of these two lines is your required line, that is the transverse axis that does not contain the origin. Okay. How to find the angular bisector does not contain the origin? You just make the both constants as positive and write the equation by minus a1x plus b1y plus c by root of a square plus b square is equals to minus of a2x plus b2y plus c2 by root of a2 square plus b2 square. If you write plus, that contains origin. Does not contain origin means you have to take minus. That's all. So I erase all these things. Just we have to find out the angular bisector of these two asymptotes that does not contain the origin. You have to find out. So we make the equations 3x minus 4y plus 5 itself it is positive, and we make that one as positive, minus 12x minus 5y plus 40 by this is 13 by root of a square plus b square obtained. Here for 5, that is equals to minus you have to take. This is your required equation. That's all. Because if you take plus, you get the angular bisector that contains the origin. So in this problem, the major role is angular bisector's concept, which contains origin, which does not contains the origin. So the target is you have to find out the angular bisector which does not contains the origin is your answer. So just the simplification is remaining here. 13 3 is 39x minus, that is 4 13s 52 y plus 5 13s 65, that is equals to this is minus into minus plus 5 12s 60 x minus into minus plus 25y, again you have 5 4s 20, that is 200. Now you just simplify, take all these terms to the right side. This is 21x and we have plus 77, I think so, 77y, and this is plus 65 or minus 65. This is 65. You have minus into plus, this is minus, you have minus 200. So this is minus 265. Minus into plus, that is minus 200. Minus 200 and minus 65, you have minus 265, that is equals to 0. This is the equation. 21x minus 77y minus 265 equal to 0 is the equation of the transverse axis. See, my dears, how much role of the asymptotes are applied here. What are the angular bisectors? How to find the angular bisector that contains the origin, that does not contain the origin. Okay, all these things discussed here now. So you prepare well, my dears. You do one more time all these concepts related to the asymptotes as well as the properties of the rectangular hyperbola. You make sure that you will build up the concepts related to all these things. In the next class, we will do some of the problems related to the same concept, that is the asymptotes and rectangular hyperbola, to build more concept on that one. Okay, thank you very much.